mga kasangbahay si Miss Sheila Viesca at siya po ang ating resident personal effectiveness coach and corporate communications guru. Good morning!
Good morning!
Good morning, Good morning! So nice to see you again.
Yes, and as always, it's awesome to be here. Happy Monday.
Oo, ano ba pag-uusapan natin ngayon?
Ngayon naman, ang topic natin, how to cope with personal issues that are actually social issues.
Ano ba yung mga personal issues first before we move on to that topic?
Personal issues
Mga
are
sample.
anything that affect the person. For instance, mga problema sa bahay, sa katrabaho, problema sa sarili, sa health, schedule. But many of them are actually social concerns.
Hindi lang ikaw ang nagdudusa o hindi lang ikaw nakakaranas ng certain issue sa buhay mo.
That's right. They're seldom talked about. And when you find yourself in that situation, ano yung gagawin mo? Ano yung responsibility mo? Now, will you keep it to yourself? Or will
Dapat
you
bang
talk
isiwalat
about it?
ko?
Oo. And to what extent? Because you're exposing yourself too much. Especially if this social issue is a crisis because may mga legislation that are in place but are not enforced.
Is it like the gender issue na napabalita recently? Is it like that, yung pinag-uusapan nating personal issue now becoming a social crisis now?
Yes, that's a very good example of it. And when that kind of situation happens, we tend to focus on the person directly affected because there's some semblance of abuse. But we also have to recognize that there's an absence of guidelines, diba? Especially itong mga gender-sensitive issues, gender neutrality. We teach our children how to be gender-sensitive. And in the workplaces, meron tayong mga trainings na kinoconduct. But actually, in the social setting, kulang yung facilities natin to really accommodate our fellow Filipinos. And
Especially in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, wala silang karapatan in reality.
Miss Sheila, ano ba yung kahalagahan, yung importance ng speaking out? Kasi yung iba ayaw nila, they don't want to bring attention to themselves. They rather just
Keep
tell it
it
quiet.
to themselves.
Pero yung iba naman, talaga nilalagay sa social media. Ano ba yung importance nun?
Well, you have to be clear about your purpose for bringing the story out there. And if there's no one else talking about it, you have to discern. Kasi malaki yung responsibility mo. Especially something like this that's much discussed. Marami na tayong mga policies and laws that are in place. But when one particular person gets affected and you have the voice right at that moment, take the moral high ground. Na medyo mako-compromise yung privacy mo, but you have to take that opportunity to speak about it. And instead of blaming the person who approach you negatively or the system, pag-usapan natin. It's really an avenue or an opportunity for discussion.
You mentioned about the extent kanina. Up to what extent ba dapat when you want to vent out, to tell about what you're experiencing right now, up to what extent ba dapat yung sinasabi mo in public?
Situations like this, Rina, mahirap magbigay ng cookie cutter approach.
Yeah, oo.
Kasi it affects the person and in particular and society in general. So I guess you have to ask yourself why you have to
Voice
speak up
it out,
in the
yeah.
first place. And then you'll be guided to what extent. Ano yung i-accommodate mo na interviews, ano yung papatulan mong mga comments, and then how far from the issue you can be when you have to respond to questions.
And I think, Miss Sheila, it's also a good idea. I don't know if you're going to agree with me, is yung mag-gather ka rin ng support group. Yung people are also experiencing the same issues that you have, and then talk about it and, think of a solution that would greatly, tawag din, greatly masusolusyonan, diba, doon sa buong community ninyo. And then, after gathering yung community na parehas mo yung situation, you reach out outside of your community.
That's right. You empower your inner circle because they understand you better. And then yung mga points of similarities nyo and points of references are almost the same. Yeah, and within that circle, you can find people who can reach out to those in the outer circle na hindi masyadong nakakaintindi o hindi pa masyadong exposed sa sitwasyon or who were not educated enough on the matter at hand. Yeah, but definitely, you reach out to a support group. And in doing that, you become more proactive. So, idamay mo na rin yung pagtingin mo naman sa mga taong hindi nakakaintindi.
Yes, that's
Just
right.
because they
don't understand.
They don't
Or
understand.
they don't have the
Oo.
same belief
Correct.
that you have. Magalit ka na sa kanila.
Oo, hindi mo sila i-antagonize because you know, we are only defined by what we know. So, kung ano yung nagawa sa'yo, it's now your control how you're going to feel about it. And being proactive can mean a lot of things. So, sasagot ka, mag-i-initiate ka, magre-reach out ka, and in doing that, you create a better environment for yourself and for the group you represent.
Miss Sheila, para yung ganito, yung sa pumutok na issue nga last week, yung kay Gretchen
Gretchen.
Diaz,
Yes,
no?
yes.
Si Gretchen. Of course, kapag meron kang ganyang sensitive issue na nag-speak out ka, it's always going to be controversial. And meron mga magsusupport sa'yo, and meron din naman na mga magbabash sa'yo. How do you deal with the negative
Bashers.
comments na hindi lang kahit na hindi lang mga kakilala mo, buong Pilipinas pa? How do you deal with that?
Well, of course, when we talk about it and the situation and talk about Gretchen, it's easier said than done. But I just hope that individuals like her and anyone in that kind of predicament or similar predicaments will learn to take the high road. Do not take a lot of things or many things personally. Kasi yung comments ng ibang tao does not really have so much to do with you as it is with them.
Yeah.
Minsan
It doesn't say much about you, but it much say
It
about
reflects,
them.
Oo. Diba, as
More
you
of
point
them.
a finger at any one person or situation, mas
back at
maraming
you.
nakaturo
Yeah.
sa'yo. Because your feedback, your comments are reflections of what you feel about yourself in relation to the situation you're commenting about. So, gawin lang yung tama.
Huwag mong papaapekto.
Oo. And it's good that something like this happened. It's unfortunate that it happened to one individual who was helpless at that point. But learn to also understand the situation of the people who were involved. Meron man tayong mga policies in place, regulations, if they're not enforced and the people who are in the front line do not know any better, diba, mahirap kung magtututok tayo sa personality. Let's focus on the issue. And then learn to let go, learn to forgive, tapos be proactive. In our discussion, marami pa tayong matutuklasan because it's an evolving concern.
Yes.
Diba? Pipilitin din natin if we're giving our commentaries to be very sensitive. Because we're talking about individuals and their feelings. Their realities may be alien to us, but that's the reality nevertheless. And we have to respect that. So yung mga accusing statements or yung mga side comments or jokes that can be insensitive, pwede nating iwasan.
Good point yung sinasabi mo, Miss Sheila, na we focus on the issue, not dun sa personality ng kung sino may nagsasalita and sino yung magre-react. Kasi otherwise, kung ganoon, parang malo-lost in translation ka rin along the way, diba? So mawawala yung talagang point mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban mo.
That's right. And with the power of social media, Angel, everyone can have a say in the matter. So as we look at our lawmakers, siguro isa rin yung kailangan nating intindihin. Pag may pagkakamali and it's pointed out already, let's proceed with a productive discussion. Huwag na tayong magtutok sa personality. That's because our culture got oriented on rote education. So because of our passive style of learning as we were growing up, the tendency when we respond is we respond to personalities, not to issues. So it's about time that we really learn to look at the big picture and think as a nation instead of just focusing on what we feel, what that other person said, how this situation is going. Diba maganda naman yung malaman mo yung sitwasyon, but then when it's time to react, alam mo na maririnig yan ng maraming tao, alam mo na pag pinost mo, it becomes a public matter, ingat-ingat at hinay-hinay.
What about keeping quiet? Kasi we've, aside from that issue, meron din yung mga issue na parang involve, kunyari, 3 parties, diba? Tapos one party is keeping quiet na lang about that social issue na yan. Pero pinag-uusapan na sila ng bayan, ganyan. But that party involved is keeping quiet. How good is that? Para ma-die out yung issue na yun. Is that also good on that part na para lang mamatay na yung issue, tatahimik na lang ako? Is that also good for that person?
Well, it's been said, Rina, for evil to flourish, it just you just need a good man to keep quiet. So if you feel that you have something to say and it's going to be relevant, it's going to be of help, yung sinabi ni Angel, umpisahan mo dun sa core group mo. If you're tentative about the reaction or the backlash, and you're not ready for that backlash that you could potentially get when you post your
Something,
comments.
yeah,
Yes. Pero definitely speak up. We live in a world where information is no longer sacred, di ba? Everyone is talking, and if you don't speak up, someone will do it for you. So, if you have a role in the story, let's talk about it, let's discuss it, and let's be results driven about whatever concern we're dealing with, especially if it involves a personal issue that is a social issue
Yes,
as
that's
well.
right.
Oo. So ano po ba yung parang ginagawa ninyo sa TalkShop para ma-encourage yung mga tao na talagang typically shy and timid about yung pag-usapan yung personal issues nila na greatly affects the social the social people as well, diba? So ano po ba yung, kasi along the way you will be experiencing, encountering stumbling blocks, diba? And yung mga challenges na yun. So ano po yung usual na exercises or training na ginagawa ninyo sa TalkShop para maka-cope yung ating mga kababayan with regard to this kind of issue?
Well, all communication excellence programs at TalkShop, Angel, are complemented by personal effectiveness workshops. And that means the evaluation happens to profile the person, so he knows why he responds to certain issues and problems a certain way. Behavioral assessment, kung ano yung nagawa ng mga crisis sa kanyang buhay. And then from there, we develop the person's confidence in himself. You have to be grounded on your personal definitions and the kind of person that you have become in the process of your experiences, because that's the only way you can connect with anyone. Pero kung hindi ka connected sa sarili mo, hindi ka grounded sa personal considerations mo and identity, kahit gaano pang kalakas ang boses mo or kahit gaano kang ka-confident, when you talk to people, para kang lutang. So, to connect with everyone or the right people, you first have to be connected to yourself.
You believe
So true.
in yourself, ano?
I like that. I needed that.
Oo.
Oo.
Okay.
Kaya nga enjoy na enjoy ako rito.
Oo.
Because,
Gusto ko talaga yung
You're
mga
so
ganitong
connected
topic,
with us
ano?
and connected to yourself.
Oo. Maraming salamat, Miss Sheila, para sa isa na ng mga very informative topic at discussion.
Thank you very much.
Ay,
Pero ito-
itanungin ko muna kay Miss Sheila kung saan yung TalkShop
Yes,
tsaka yung contact
exactly.
details.
Well, you can get in touch with us at 0917-877-5588 or 894-5588 for any inquiries and also schedule of classes and assessment. You can check out our courses at talkshop.ph, and please drop us a line on Facebook or LinkedIn, Sheila Viesca or TalkShop PH.
Maraming salamat, Miss Sheila Viesca. At alam mo, isa pang natuwa doon sa pinag-usapan natin, si Doc Joseph.
Yes!
Doc Joseph,
Doc
good morning.
Joseph.
Good
Doc Joseph,
morning.
hi.
Maraming salamat ulit, Miss